Hey everybody, Jeremy Kane here. It's Why Invest Wednesday. Thanks for tuning in as always. Already, I believe, the 35th episode of the year. As always, like, comment, share. If you're commenting on Facebook, I can see it as they go, but you have to make yourself known to StreamYard. But absolutely, YouTube, send me your comments. Would love to chat and talk more. We talked a little bit. Please subscribe anytime to all the channels. I try to keep you updated. This is our second segment of our market update. Market updates start coming out at the end of each month, so we'll call this the August market update, although I'm aware we are in September. It's a review of the August market. So August 2021 in the real estate market felt a little more normal than most people would think. As we came into August, continued to have a lot of people getting out, exploring after being on lockdown for so long. We definitely felt, as realtors in the real estate market, especially in the Denver area, felt like it was coming down, a lull for sure. Turns out it's more of just a normal seasonal thing. As we kind of look here at the stats put out by DMAR, we had for detached and attached active listings at month end were down 11% from the month before. Closed homes were down almost 10%, 9.58%. Closed prices were down 1%. Closed price median down 0.37%. And days in MLS actually were up 22%. So we finished the month at 11. So all of those things combined, definitely. But after we step away from it, it's really about seasonality and what we're seeing in the market here in the Denver metro area. It's just not as crazy as it's been. People are saying, oh, the market's shifting, the market's shifting. No, it's just reaching a seasonality there. And as those numbers show, it comes down in August, kids going back to school, people settling in, not wanting to uproot. I can imagine moving the same month that you're putting your kids back in school. Although that doesn't encompass everybody, it's kind of a known thing that kind of affects everybody. You know, lives are changing, people are less available, things like that. So from my perspective, a very typical August, which is a breath of fresh air. We saw some clients be able to get into things, a little less bidding wars. Again, the sellers are still demanding what they expect and sometimes getting it, sometimes not. Some price decreases and things coming along with that. So in general, boots on the ground, that's kind of what we're seeing from the month of August in the DMAR report. Obviously, there's all kinds of stuff going on in the economic world. As you guys know, inflation is definitely a concern. The Fed talks about it often. They think it's just transitory. They think it's going to fix itself. I'm not so sure about that, but we'll see. They were supposed to have that big meeting where they're going to talk about pulling back on the mortgage-backed securities. They've actually been able to, with the employment numbers, only 5.4% or whatever they're at. The normal average around 4%. They're able to kind of, since there is job growth, they're able to kind of kick that can down the road. So they do have 2 more meetings this year. We'll see if they can kind of start pulling back on those mortgage-backed securities, which will then obviously increase the interest rate eventually by design. The interest rate you hear them talking about at the Fed is not a direct impact. It's really about the mortgage-backed securities that the Fed is purchasing that helps keep those rates low. There's been talk that inflation, is a concern, so we may see low interest rates through the next year or so. But regardless of what's going on with all that, with the interest rates where they're at, they talk about a lot of peaks and things like that. I believe the last peak of home appreciation happened in 2006. If you factor in all of these things, obviously appreciation is going crazy. We've seen an increase in wages and things like that. If you factor all that in, we're still in an affordability market right now that is attainable for most people. And so that's the main reason, and number one reason, is because the interest rates are almost half of what they were back at the last peak. So that interest rate, although we've seen obviously record high appreciation and things of that matter, since the interest rates are where they're at, we can still afford, these homes and, naturally afford these places to purchase. And so that's awesome. As we see when those mortgage-backed securities, they start pulling back on purchasing those, we may see interest rates go up. And that's definitely a metric to keep an eye on, is that affordability. However, with that said, there's always this rent or own kind of rent or purchase thing. And if you're renting a home, you've seen like a 20% increase on average just this year in rent, because obviously when people purchase homes, they have higher debt and they're going to charge more rent. And I just don't think that that's going away. So I think at some point we're going to have to adjust to spending more on our living expenses. And, we'll kind of see how that goes. The demand is not slowing. The lower interest rates may be fueling that. Again, the millennials turning 33 and, that average home buying age, sick of renting, sick of being in densely populated, condos, townhomes, apartments, So that's just what's kind of happened, is the demand is still there. We are seeing interest rates remain, crazy low. So obviously that can't last forever, and it's not going to last forever, but we'll see. Overall, as a realtor, boots on the ground kind of thing, I have felt that we had a lull in August. I have 5 listings coming on this month. So right after Labor Day, we got 2 this weekend. Probably have 2 the 3rd week of September, and maybe 1 on October 1st. So, that's going to start coming out. People are okay. We're settled into school. People are settled into school. So there's going to be more buyers out there. And we'll kind of go from there. Sorry, I got interrupted on that one. So let me pull this back up here, and we'll see how that has an effect. Ultimately, the buyers, they're still, the great properties that are purchased maybe a little below market value are seeing some, some demand. I saw a duplex over in the Baker District put an offer in. A good buddy Mateo over at Brokers Guild, shout out to Mateo, had a really nice listing over there. Super cool duplex that had a ton of showings, ton of interest. He had a lot of offers. That's an income property. It was set up pretty much as an income property. So a little bit different there, but it's definitely still happening, but it's less likely that you're going to see, 30, 40 offers on places. We're lucky to get 30 showings in a weekend, which was kind of the norm prior. So hopefully things are cooling down, but there is less homes on the market, so less buyers, things like that. So that's where those numbers came from. But yeah, that's the September outlook. Hopefully we continue to see things get moved, people get into homes. I know there's a lot of buyer fatigue that was taking place, and I'm hoping to see all those buyers that do want to be in homes get into something. It is my suggestion that you do not wait until next spring, because I see kind of a lot of those buyers that were sick of looking, April, May, June, they maybe signed a year lease. They're going to be coming back to the pool, hopefully before their lease is up and they're homeless. But those are things that I would just keep an eye on. I would say that if you're in a position, even if you have a lease, if it's, you can buy it out, or, maybe work something out with your landlord, take advantage of these low rates right now. We don't know what they're going to be tomorrow. We don't know what they're going to be in 6 months. What I do know is they're low now. And just, maybe take that plunge, because, it may take a little bit longer here with less inventory as we move, through the fall into the winter, but maybe, it doesn't matter how many houses are on the market. If you find the one that's right for you, you may be able to get it at a much better deal. Because I think we will see kind of a reoccurrence of what we saw this spring, where things just went nuts early on. And definitely want to make sure that you have the opportunity to get into home ownership, because that's what we're all about. As you heard, rental, prices are up 20% this year. So, that's just you paying other people's wealth. I own rental properties. It is what it is. It's needed sometimes. But my goal is to make you a homeowner at any point that you wish. So that's that. As we move out of the September market update and kind of talk about the Broncos, Definitely opening day. I believe that this last year they weren't favored once. They're 2.5 point favorites on the road at the Giants. I'm going to take the Broncos covering that spread. Hopefully that is the start of something positive, as they have a pretty easy schedule this year. So hopefully they can rack up some wins and maybe sneak into the playoffs. You never know. So other than that, Jeremy Kane, definitely like, comment, subscribe, share, do your thing. Definitely want to be a resource to you. So if there's anything you want me to talk about or questions you may have, definitely put them in the comments. Hashtag live, hashtag replay, whatever you're watching. And I hope you guys all have a great Wednesday. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.